What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. Snow White. Oh, Snow White. Rachel Zegler, the Zeg, of course, famous now for her, well,
Yeah. Weird.
and other comments that she made and talking about how, it's times have changed and she thought that a little outdated. And she said all the wrong things basically for Snow White. And of course, this on top of the Peter Dinklage comments about how we need to stop only casting little people in those type of roles, which basically took away work from working actors. And in an attempt to fix that, there have just been multiple reshoots, and three, if you can believe them. And we can see now that we are encroaching over $500 million. And there, of course, is the lovely haircutted Zegler as Snow White in March 21st. Good luck with that. So this, of course, comes from WDW Pro. Again, a lot of news from him and Endymion these days, but okay. This is what he says about the project. I am told there have been 3 reshoots of this film and that Disney is now still working to fix the thing. And in particular, there are 2 areas that Disney is working to resolve before its release in March, which is just a few months away. Yeah, the areas are Rachel and Zegler.
Yeah. Weird.
Shared that 2 of the major problems that Disney is attempting to fix, the dwarves that have been roundly mocked, and they've been mocked at the level of the original Sonic the Hedgehog model in that film, which obviously they looked abysmal. And as he points out, of course, Sega and Paramount went back to work and actually redid that model, even though people complained, but the fan response was so positive when they've done that. Look, we're on the 3rd Sonic movie. Actual profitability doesn't help that they were decent movies as well, by all accounts. So yeah, they're still working to fix the dwarves. With this one, they're not going to have that much time to do everything that needs to be done, and they have 7 models that need to be adjusted. This just points to the greater decline in CGI quality that we've seen. That's not because a lack of progression in, the art of it. It's a decline in it because they give these artists less and less time, less and less vision, and they aren't able to go through the refinements that they're now rushing to get through at quite the expense. And the other thing is apparently they're going to try to adjust the color palette, the atmospherics of the movie to make it brighter and more lighthearted and make it more child-friendly. It was deemed a little too dark. Interesting, they thought this was too dark. The rumor has some significant validity given over here by Carolyn Reed at Forbes. Reporting that Disney production company in the United Kingdom working on Snow White had already spent 209.3 million over the last 3 years as of July 2022. And this is not even counting what they spend on marketing, which is always the budget times 2. You get the idea here. Been over 2 years since that report, and we know of at least 1 confirmed reshoot from Gal Gadot. She, of course, posted that saying that we're back. That was the original round meant to address the dwarves, and then I believe that second round was meant to address Zegler, where we heard that not only was her screen time being reduced, but they were adding flashbacks and more musical numbers with the younger version of the character played by a different actress. You can also see here that not only did that undergo reshooting, but as noted, the radically changed how the 7 dwarves. Now, I had heard that this group was separate from the dwarves and their CGI look. This is a separate group they fought, or they found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, see, there's 8 of them here, unless that's the prince, right? So the 7 dwarves. So maybe they are. I don't know whether this is a stand-in for a separate group or this was going to be the diverse dwarves or whatever before they switched to these CGI abominations, which they're still working on. Not sure. But again, this all goes back to Peter Dinklage himself, who the Mark Maron podcast, another guy who should keep his mouth shut, saying, well, it's really progressive to cast, literally no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback by, they're very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. So the fact that they cast actual dwarves originally is what he's saying is backwards, and that, like, what are you doing, blah, 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 blah. So I guess they should have I hired 7 just tall people, and then he could have complained for a different reason. But this comment has led to an entire industry trend of not hiring little people for these roles that they traditionally would get work for, including and up to people being hired and fired for time bandits. And yeah, Peter Dinklage, not to his name is pretty much mud in the little person community, and I was told that by our own John Winslow. Easy there, John.
Come on.
And of course, we had the actual Walt Disney Company telling the Hollywood Reporter to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. We are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. Clearly not any members that actually were working in Hollywood, because they'd be like, no, you're taking away gerbs. They're taking our gerbs. We look forward to sharing more as the film heads into production. Yeah, and they did not know how true lengthy development period it actually would be. So, I mean, there it is. If you do the traditional math of how these all works, based on what we know and the multiple reshoots and the still ongoing that they are now trying to finish what they should have done to begin with, yeah, we're encroaching like $600,000 or $600 million. Insane. That means the film would have to make well over $1 billion to even break even, if that would be the final number. So yeah, it's not looking good. I'm sure they had projections for this movie, but
yeah, but they were all bad.
Yeah, do you have any interest in seeing this whatsoever? I mean, I honestly have more interest in watching the Brett Cooper version from Daily Wire than I do in watching this, other than I'm going to have to watch this to talk about it on streams and verses and stuff like that. But not looking forward. Let me know what you think, though. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.